What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Kung Fu Society podcast IRL, episode number 2. I just figured I'd go live this time, like not as a private stream, but as a public, even though I only still have a handful of subscribers. But we could change that, can't we? We could change that. If you're a Kung Fu practitioner, you've been displaced. Your Queen has closed down. Something might have happened. Maybe because of lockdowns, or maybe because I don't know. Your Sifu decided to retire, or maybe you had to move. Um, Something might happen. But you see, you look and you look and you look for another Queen, and they're hard to come by. And you say, okay, maybe I want to try another art. You try another art, it might not quite be the same, or you might not be satisfied. Or it's like, I like it, but I still want to practice my Kung Fu. Well, that's why we have the Kung Fu Society. You see, all across America, there's displaced Kung Fu practitioners, and other martial artists for that matter, but mainly Kung Fu practitioners that are looking to continue, continue with their training, continue to do what they were taught. And sometimes it's hard to do by yourself. Maybe it's not. I mean, it's not, but I mean, mentally it is. You don't have a training partner. You don't have a class to train with. Your Sifu's not there to correct you, or maybe your Sihing's not there. Um, and from what I understand, iron sharpens iron. So that's why the Kung Fu Society was uh, was founded. And if you are a Kung Fu practitioner, look right there in the chat. There's a link to the Discord. Come and be a part of something great. And that is the Kung Fu Society. What we are doing again is connecting local martial artists so we could train with each other in a setting we feel comfortable at. And so that's the thing. Is you get to talk to somebody maybe from another art. Maybe they're respectful of your art, or maybe they're not. Uh, you know, but it comes down maybe to style. Like, all right, well, you got, say, someone that's learning the eagle claw. Maybe you can train with someone that learns praying mantis. You guys understand the terminology though. Maybe a little different, and there's some cross stuff. You know, depends on what style. There's that eagle claw does come up in, or tiger, or hungar, or choile foot. So, anyways, that's where we're headed, folks. So today I was it's been a long day at work, and and now it's the time of year where I live that mosquitoes are starting to come out. So I went outside. I did the dynamic tension that we were talking about last night. The video I did last night. You'll see the dynamic tension video in the in the channel in the videos list, and how that can develop fast strikes and endurance and strength. Can do it all. It's such a good type of exercise. So I did that. I was in horse stance for a little bit while I was doing that. While I was doing those exercises, and then I decided to practice some forms. Then the mosquitoes really came out. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go inside. That's the thing we got the elements to contend with, you know. So There's citronella. There's other things that can ward off mosquitoes, so you can continue training outside. There's some other things you could do. Don't wear dark clothing. Um, Stay in kind of a well lit area. Um, well lit area will bring other bugs. Not, I mean, mosquitoes. They tend to they tend to dig the dark. Other bugs will flock to the light, and it's all a part about living here in the swamp lands of Florida. What else we have? Um, so as I was doing those exercises, especially Iron Mountain, the Iron Mountain, the dynamic tension, the mosquitoes didn't start coming out until I started practicing forms. Go figure, right? Ha ha. Um, and I was sitting there thinking, martial arts. We, what is it? You know, war art. So weapons of war. That's why I always liked kung fu. It's like it's not just empty hands. It's also doing weapons. And there's other styles that do weapons too. And then I've noticed something that I discussed on my other channel about something called predictive programming or subliminal messaging. Is I remember a movie when I was a kid called The Three Ninjas, and in that movie, um, I guess the main type of it's far fetched. The main type of the sect of ninjas that want to take down society or whatever. You know, as the boys try to you know track down, find the grandfather. They know it's like these ninjas. They got guns. A real ninja is not supposed to have guns. And I was sitting there thinking, you know, that it was kind of a bit of a brainwashing thing. And when you notice that when you see these shows like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and even the very very horrible version of Double Dragon cartoon, the abomination that was, and the movie was kind of it was kind of a cringe, but kind of like a cringe that you don't mind watching, like a train wreck, but you notice these things, it's like, you know guns, that, I mean, where's the guns, where, it's like it's there's nothing wrong with a gun, because let's talk about it. Wushu, war art, guns. Guns are weapons of war. They didn't have them back then. They didn't have them during the time of Bodhirama and the Shaolin monks. They didn't have them at the time of Genghis, well, Kublai Khan. Well, they were just starting to. They didn't have them during the time of Sun Tzu or the Three Kingdoms era. They had bows and arrows, and they had crossbows. They had trebuchets. They had catapults. They had siege weapons. They had all these other things, but they didn't have guns. And so the way I see it was, if they did have small armaments, if they had rifles and pistols, it might tell a different story. Um, and it would have been different. Warfare changed along with the times. So, and I know there are some styles of kung fu out there that do have gun forms. There's some gun forms. So that's something that you kind of look out for. Um, let's see. Yeah, so yeah, there's some gun forms, and that you shouldn't be ashamed. And I do recommend, um, learning some defense, some gun disarm, and some gun techniques. Put that into the repertoire, and there's nothing wrong with carrying. And that's the thing, and they go hand in hand. And so I'm thinking this, as kung fu practitioners, you know, we don't go around going out in our day-to-day lives saying, I know kung fu, I know kung fu, la 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 la, I know kung fu. You don't do that, because then someone wants to warn a challenge, and then something bad can happen, or it could be, or you could use it to your detriment, to be debaucherous, and have people kind of fawn on, oh, that's cool, kung fu. Oh, that's cool, you're a ninja, or that's cool, this art, that art, and everything else in between. Um, and so it's like, oh, he's a violent man, or she's violent, so stay away from them. They're violent, type of thing. The same can be, same. I mean, it's not as much taboo as it is with possessing a firearm. You possess a firearm, you want to go around telling everybody, hey, I'm armed. Hey, I'm armed. I mean, your friends know. Your closest friends know you, and they know you carry, and your family knows you carry. But the rest of society, no, no, you don't want to tell the rest of society that you carry guns. Just like you don't want to tell the rest of society that you do kung fu, unless they happen to see you. And so that's the hard part. Is like, I want to try to block off my backyard so no one could peek in and see what I do. Because I'm not there to put on a show for them. I'm really not. I'm there to practice. And I see people stop and slow down. It's like, and I stop until they leave. you know because I mean, I'm not there to entertain them. No, I'm there because I'm trying to make sure that I stay in shape, stay in good fighting condition, and things like that. I don't want to, I don't like to have prying eyes on me, you know? And it's like, oh wow, that guy just did a jump spin crescent kick. That's fantastic. That's awesome. You know, it's like, yeah, yeah, that's awesome. But if I wanted you to see it, I'd let you see it, you know? So that's why I'm a big believer in a privacy fence. That's going to be next on the agenda for me, anyways. So it's crazy, I mean, it's one thing if you go to a public park and do it. Um, that's one thing, because people are there doing things and minding their own business, and there for various reasons. But when you're in your own backyard and people are driving back and forth and watching you, or if you're on your front porch or something, then it becomes a little bit of a problem. I mean, the good news is you have space to do it. The bad news is you're open to the public, where they could just, it's like, okay, fine. Yeah. I mean, doesn't matter. Why do you look? Why do you look? And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have, my neighbors. But it's not the neighbors though. The neighbors aren't piqued by that curiosity, because the neighbors are used to it. Who aren't used to it are those passers-bys, dropping people on, off, or picking people up, or people driving through the neighborhood. Um, so that could be a challenge too. And drop a comment below if you um, have that sort of challenge. Because I'm telling you, it is not exactly. It's not exactly a good thing. All right, all right, just 1 second, everybody. So, anyways, so back to the whole topic of firearms. Um, I think that it's a really good idea to have firearms. Um, it's like, I mean, what's the difference between a sword and a gun? You know, or what? Well, not the difference, but what is the difference in purpose between a sword and a gun? You know, that's really what you got to ask yourself. Drop that in a couple different spots. Stand by. I need to get a new mouse because I have my mouse is it sucks. It's like the right click. It's now there we go. I guess I dropped it one too many times, or the cat must have did something with it. Time for some water. Ah, that's good. That's good. Man, I tell you, I run to a lot of people that are having issues with their dieting, um, and one of the biggest issues is they don't drink water. They'll drink soda. They'll drink Gatorade, Powerade. They'll drink punch and iced tea and everything in between, but they will not have a glass of water. Why? And it's like, oh, I don't like the taste of water. But water doesn't really have that. It doesn't really have a taste, I guess. Cold water. I love cold water more than anything, really. It is, I mean, it is a blessing. Cold water on a hot day. Cold water after you've been working out. Even room temperature water. Um, it's just it's a refreshment. It's pure refreshment, and people don't understand that. People don't understand that pure refreshment. Okay, let's see. But yeah, it's like let's go back to the 19 was it 78 or 79 film or 76 film. Enter the Dragon. Bruce Lee, Enter the Dragon. 1972 film. I'm sorry. Um, that film, there was this scene where Bruce Lee is being briefed by uh, Mr. Braithwaite from MI6 or MI5 or or the secret Hong Kong police or whatever, because Hong Kong was under British jurisdiction, and he's going on and on about Han's martial arts tournament that he's gonna put on, and about all this thing about a criminal or whatever, and he says guns. Why doesn't anyone go over there with a 45 and bang, settle it? Um, you know, See, even that philosophy in it. And then, and then when he says no guns, Bruce Lee just rolls his eyes. It's like I kind of want to use a gun here. It'd be easier, wouldn't it? Come on, I'll just have to do that. Boom and boom. Yay! I had to right click with my touchpad instead of my mouse because my mouse doesn't like the right click button. So yeah, another thing that's sticking in my craw a little bit is wushu. And I did a video on it the other day, um, or last week. Wushu is not kung fu. The funny thing is, going back to it, is that wushu was the original term for Chinese martial arts. It meant war art. And then during the communist takeover, um, they kind of outlawed martial arts because they were afraid of something like the Boxer Rebellion or whatever. They highly regulated it, and so a lot of martial arts masters left and fled to Hong Kong, Taiwan, and other places. And then the term kung fu, which means hard work, or gong fu, depends on what region, what what terminology you use, means hard work. Is it became the term for Chinese martial arts. Um, because what happened was in China they had something called wushu. That the wushu they brought about was all these traditional forms, and they taken out the all the fun stuff, and they left in all the gymnastic stuff. So that's why there's a big difference between uh, wushu and kung fu, especially when it comes to forms. And wushu, they don't teach you any actual fighting techniques. They just teach you that athletic gymnastic routine they call a form, which is not a form at all. It is, but it is impressive. It really is. How you doing, deranged lunatic? Welcome to the Kung Fu Society. I know there's not much going on. I figured I go live, actual live, and not a private live, but a public live. Just kind of spout out what's on my mind. Um, you can, yeah, I did drop the link in a couple of Discord servers if anyone wants to join. But keep in mind, this is not like my other channel. When I say keep it PG, I mean keep it PG. Period. This isn't like some of the other stuff I'm on. I'm probably going to go for another 15, 20 minutes or so and then wrap it up because I got work tomorrow. I already went through about 25 minutes. Yeah. But yeah, so that's one thing that always bugs me is this whole pre-notion that um and it is sort of a social engineering says, oh, martial artists can't use guns. But you know what? Ask ask 90% of the instructors out there. They carry. My old Sifu, he carries a gun. Um, and other. Oh, hey, what's going on? Call me nobody. Thank you for showing support. I appreciate it. And that guy has a lot of life experience. Uh, he came from the Queen of Hard Knocks. I mean, he's probably got some things that you can't really say on air. He pleads the fifth, but he's up north. He's up in the Great White North. And that's why they call him nobody. Because you're not supposed to know who he is. And that's the other thing I was getting to about that, about how like you don't go around saying that you're um, the baddest of the bad, or kung fu practitioner. For the same reason, you don't go around telling people, "Hey, I'm carrying a pistol. I got a piece on me." You don't tell them that. It's called concealed for a reason. That's why many of the styles of kung fu, they don't have a colored system for their ranking. I mean, some do, most don't, and they don't wear a belt; they wear a sash. And that's because so you won't know who's the baddest just by looking at them. You'll know once you see them do stuff, but you ain't. But that's the reason the sash. It's the color and the way you tie it is. It depends on what school you go to and what style it's taught there. But yeah, so that's that. So I want to know from anybody what they have done as far as how they push themselves to the limit. Um, uh, because sometimes you just have to, and that's why, I know we when you look at the anime Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, that whole saga, whatever, it's like, oh gosh, it's like, I get it, I get it. I mean, some like it, some don't. But what I liked about it, I mean, it's not, I'm not like big into it, but what I do like about it is the idea of training hard to achieve perfection and to achieve something, a greater skill set than where you were before. And what I liked about it, it had little to do with the techniques, even though there were some, they were all fictional as far as the things like the energy blast and things like that. But but it had more to do with how strong you were, training wise, and everything else like that. Like the main character of the show, Goku, was never satisfied with where he was at. He was always training. He was always training. Even in they had a weird type of afterlife theology. Even after that, even in afterlife, he kept training because apparently in the afterlife you are kind of where you left off as far as how much strength and speed and ability you have, which is weird. You would think that in the afterlife, either you'd be, well, what we believe here, either bound to torment or bound or have infinite glory, or in some belief systems, reincarnated, or things like that. But no, no, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, it was a very, very different type of system, of a belief system, which I believe came from I want to say, ancestral um, worship they have over there in the East. If I had to, if I had to take a stab or guess at anything. So, anyways, that's that one. So we've been running for 30 minutes. I think I might just wrap it up here. I want to thank Deranged Lunatic and They Call Me Nobody for tuning in. I want to thank everybody for um, subscribing. And like I said, if you stumble across this channel and if you like what I have to say, if you want to join me sometime, we set something up. Um, and if that Discord link is expired, let me know. And again, the purpose of the Kung Fu Society YouTube channel and the Kung Fu Society Discord is to get those displaced practitioners opportunity to get together, train, and sharpen their skills how iron sharpens iron. Anyways, I want to thank you all again, and I will see you guys on the next one. Have a great day, a great evening, and a great day. And Galjan, keep training. Good night, everybody.